morning in Chiang Mai, Thailand, and it is a beautiful, beautiful sunny day. Look at this. I am at a cafe which I just randomly found on the side of the road here called the Go Gu Ma Cafe. How's that? Um, Bought myself a usual cappuccino, which came with a glass of water and some little biscuits that I already ate and fed the local wildlife here with, which you'll meet shortly, um, and all for 40 baht, less than $2. I mean, where in the world can you sit in a garden cafe uh, and have a cappuccino for that price? Anywhere in the world, you tell me. Hello, Hobby Time. Welcome, buddy. Welcome. And anybody else that's going to pop in, I hope. I posted the link on Facebook, and along with a picture of, or earlier I took a picture of my newfound friend here I'm having coffee with. You'll meet shortly. Um, and yeah, that's funny. We'll get to that. Anyway, yeah, it's a real nice day. I'm actually, location-wise, I'm about between 15 and 20 minutes, about 15 minutes south of where I live in Chiang Mai, following the Ping River south. Okay, and it's a little back road that goes winding along the length of the river, and there's nice little places you go through, little commercial areas you go through, coffee shops and stuff like that. Yeah, thanks, mate. Thanks. And it's a really nice drive, or ride, I should say, ride down here. I'm actually going and looking for a place that is actually a location where I can do my next video. And I sort of plan out my videos a little bit for YouTube streams, so I've got an idea of what the thumbnail is going to be, what the title and the subject is before I film. And this one's going to be about motorcycle safety over here in Thailand. So, and it should come out early next week, probably in the next 3 days, I would say. Yeah, I also have a video due to come out possibly on tomorrow. I'm not too sure. I have to check. Part two, or if I did that, that's already out. Yeah, part two of my motorbike ride up to Pai. There's actually going to be a part three, which should finish that. Maybe a part four. We'll see how that goes. There's definitely going to be one video that'll be all about the bike ride. The how many is it? 792 curvy, twisty corners between Chiang Mai and Pai. One of the world's most amazing motorcycle rides. I'm going to do a video just on the road. Like, it'll be video footage of doing the ride through the corners, past the avalanches, past bits of the road that have caved away down into the canyon. Yeah, all the excitement of getting along there. Hey, Rick Nelson, how are you, buddy? Watching from Brisbane on partly cloudy 27 degrees Celsius Sunday. That's not too bad, 27. That's probably about what it is here right now. That's great. Yeah, my sister or my brother-in-law, who live in Coomera in south of Brisbane there, just posted they had a race meet. He races, does motor racing, and his son does motorcycle racing. He just came third and got awarded the other night for coming third in the championship. So good on him. It's his first year of racing. So Peter D, hello there. Hi, just back from Thailand trip. Are you? Oh, where'd you back? Where's back to? Where are you back to? And where'd you go in Thailand? Them termites have been busy. Yeah, yeah. But yeah, so I've come down here to look for a place to do my video. What I'm planning on doing is doing a walkie-talkie sort of thing, where I'll find a nice quiet place, which is not easy. You know, this cafe is quite nice right now. I'm wearing my microphone on the inside here. See, it's got my little fluffy what do you call it, dead cat or something, cat thing, yeah. But it is quite quiet here. But I'm going to go somewhere else and do a walk talk thing, and then put it together with a bit of footage of riding here and back along the road, and so people will be able to sort of watch in one corner all the obstacles that try to kill you here on the roads in Thailand, while I'm talking about road safety. So excellent. But yeah, it's a really nice quiet spot here today, and I just found it on the side of the road. Oh, back to Sydney rat race. Yeah, okay, poor thing. You're in Bangkok and in Pattaya. Fantastic, great. Yeah, Pattaya is really peaking now. It's well into the high season. I've seen a few people videoing around Pattaya. It seems like a great place. Mae Sai, yes. And yeah, now you're in northern Thailand. Yes, Rick, for sure. I did part of the Mae Sai loop, they call it, for motorcycle riding, but I only did from here to Pai. Look, I'm on a 125 Suzuki scooter here. I'm not on a bigger bike, and that loop, Mae Sai is supposed to be very nice, and yes, that is on my next tick off my bucket list. And I do eventually want to do that whole loop, which is about a 3-day trip. And the scooter actually went well. I'm not a big person, I'm quite light. I'm only weigh about 80 kilos. And I had no problems going up through the mountains and through the curves on that bike. If you were carrying somebody on the back, you'd definitely want to be on something a bit more powerful. But it was fine. But yeah, I want to do that 3-day loop soon. Hey, Jack Breeze there, Bogan. How are you, buddy? Philippe Palmer. Hello, welcome. Where are you from? Anybody new in there? Let me know where you're from, where you're watching from. Okay, and don't forget to subscribe, guys. We're creeping up there in the numbers. It's really good. I'm really, really happy. I'm getting so much positive feedback from everybody. I mean, seriously, the comments on my videos and the feedback I get is all so positive, and I'm glad that I could provide a bit of insight and service to my experience of moving here to Thailand to retire and live. Chile, South America, fantastic. Good on you. Excellent, that's great. Tony Montana's there. How are you, buddy? In Jomtien Beach. How's the weather down there? Probably just as beautiful as it is here, eh? Fantastic. I got a question for you, Tony. How often do you actually go in the water at the beach? Eh? Or have you got a pool at your place? Because it's funny, like Pattaya, Jomtien, they're famous for being waterfront, beachfront places, but when you think about it, not many people go in the water. The water's improved over the years, I've heard. The drainage used to be bad. The pipes used to go straight out there off the beach, and it wasn't the best place to swim. But they've fixed that up over the years, and that doesn't happen anymore, but it just has that reputation, you know. Rick, I hope you don't suffer mind road sickness. Yeah, from the winding roads. Yes, you've got to be very careful, mate. You really do. Thanks, mate. Yeah. You've really got to be careful on those bikes. You got to get what, it's what they call, I think it's like focus lock. Okay, so if you're riding on your bike and you're doing the twisty turns and you're chilled out, but you've got to concentrate. You don't want to be looking too close in front of you. You've got to be looking through the curve, around the corner, looking ahead. If you focus too much in front of you, you can get what they call a focus lock, and you end up running wide, which could be deadly on those mountains. Or you could come in too wide on the other side, and because there's all these tourist vans running up and down that road on both sides of the road, it's just crazy. Fixation, that's the word. Thanks, mate. Yeah, target fixation. You got to be so careful. You can't let that happen. So you've got to just get into that groove and you'll be fine. But yeah, don't get distracted. It's amazing ride. I've had that happen to me twice that I remember back in Australia, the fixation thing. The first one, I was riding along a dirt road, and for some reason I was looking at where it dropped off a little bit, and it didn't go far, maybe about a meter. It dropped down and it went down, and you just into the bushes and stuff. But I was looking at, and for some reason, my hands, my arms, I couldn't turn the wheel of the handlebars. It just wouldn't turn, and I just went off the track and straight down into the thing. I just froze up. It was crazy. Going slow, probably about 20 miles an hour or less, no problem at all. But I was stuck down there for a while because I had to drag the bike back up, and no damage or anything. But that's how easily it can happen. And there was another time, which I hope I don't have any close friends on here watching because I've never told this story. Up in Queensland, I was doing up around the mountains up there on the ride up. I can't remember the place, but there's some good bike rides up in north of Brisbane. And I'm going around like this, and we're getting the speed up a bit, and I was doing probably about 130, 140, and there was this wide sweeping bend. And I've gone round this wide sweeping bend, and again, I've just glanced to the side and saw all this gravel runoff area. And again, I've gone wide, and to make it worse, the trees on the other side disappeared, and it was open, and the wind came through, and the wind caught me and pushed me over again, and I got right on the edge within inches of touching the gravel and being sent off at that speed across the gravel. And oh boy, heart-wrenching. So anyway, but here I am. I shouldn't be talking about stuff like that. I should be talking about safety, what you shouldn't do, what you should do, not what you shouldn't do. Enjoying watching your adventures. Yes, wish I could be there with my girl right now from Pennsylvania, USA. Paul, good on you, mate. Pennsylvania. Have I been to Pennsylvania? Do you go through Pennsylvania? Is that near Ohio? Is that like, I came down from Michigan and went through Detroit, which is, I'm not sure what that state is. I'm heading towards New York. Don't you go through Pennsylvania on the way to New York? Pennsylvania. I'm sure that's where I went and saw the Amish people. I went through a village and I see them in their stagecoaches and stuff. Amazing, that trip. I should do a trip to Chiang Mai. Yes, mate. That's a longer ride. That's 3 hours. Well, I could do that, yes. It's a 3-hour ride to Pai, but it took me 6 hours, nearly 7. But there was just so many places to stop and see on the way. That's the way it was. So I just, I would like to go to Chiang Mai. I'm just thinking, maybe I could put the bike on a taxi and then just ride it back. I don't know. Because the road going out there is pretty boring, I hear. There's not much to see along the way. So, nothing like the mountain passes and stuff like that. Jack Bree, yes mate. High season is looking pretty good. Yeah, tunnel vision's the other one, yeah. High season's picking up here, yeah. I don't go into Chiang Mai City, even though it's 5 minutes away on the scooter, or it's about less than a 30-minute walk. That's where it's getting busier. But where I am, it's still fairly local people and the usual around, and it's not a touristy area. We've got a hotel right next door. I noticed a lot came out last weekend for La Croix, the Lantern Festival, and that was busy, and I saw more foreigners around my area than I'd ever seen. It was just where they all come from. So, yeah, it was great. Tony's saying it's fantastic here and I don't go to the beach. Yeah, the water is that good. Yeah, but I went to Koh Lan Island, yesterday, and the water is so clear and beautiful. Yeah, Koh Lan's a beautiful spot. Yeah, not good yet. Yeah, Koh Lan is nice. It is. It's a nice alternative to whip over there on the ferry. And yeah, I've done that probably about pre-COVID years, I think. Yeah, they did a drainage upgrade and they've cleaned the water a bit. Well, the water's a lot cleaner. That's good. What they should do, I don't know if they do or not, have a designated swimming area off patio there. You know, like a netted area or whatever. Do they even have lifesavers on the beach? I mean, I know there's no surf, but you know, not being picking individual countries out, but a lot of Chinese people don't swim well. A lot of the drownings in Australia are Chinese tourists, so it doesn't have to be waves for you to drown. Maybe they should set up lifesavers on the beach in Jomtien, and that would attract people there. But then there's some beautiful hotels and swimming pools too, so there's an alternative. So I've learned that flashing headlights and honking the horn when overtaking is a valuable lesson. Yes, yeah, that's true. I noticed a lot of them coming around the real sharp hairpin turns do that. Well, actually, not a lot of them. Yeah, it's all like a free-for-all, because sometimes you get these vans that are just 3 vans of the same tour company, and they're following each other, and they just stay on each other's line no matter where that front guy goes. It's pretty crazy. John Phillip from Sydney, how are you, buddy? Welcome. It's east of Ohio. Okay, I'll get the map going in my head. Yeah, that's good. Will you get to me Nahong Sung west of Pai? Let me see. North, east, south, west. Yes, I will. I've been told it's a very nice, chill place to go and spend a few days. So I would. When I was up in Pai, I just spent one night there, right? I was going to stay 2 nights, but one was enough. And I actually stayed in a hostel, a backpacker hostel, in a bunk bed in a room with three beds, mixed dormitory it was. Turns out, just my luck, there were 3 Irish girls in the other 3 beds. So it was okay though. They didn't snore, which was good. Yeah, when I met them that night, when I came back from heading into the markets, they were all in there, and I said, all right, does anyone snore? So I think it was okay. It was a quiet night. Okay, it was quite funny because when I first got into the room, put my bag down on the bunk, the guy gave me the key and said, you got the bottom bunk on the left? I said, rightio. I go in there, and the room is just, as soon as I opened the door, you could smell all the perfume, and then everywhere hanging there was underwear and bras and all sorts of stuff, and I thought, okay, this is going to be interesting. So it was a good night, and but I stayed there one night, and then I haven't released the video on it yet, but then after Pai I went to a place called Chiang Mai, which was recommended by a guy I met here near where I live, that's now a subscriber, so he could be watching, who suggested I go to Chiang Mai. So I did that on the way back, and oh my god, what a beautiful place, what a great place. And one thing I noticed about both the places, the hostel I stayed at and I stayed a night in Chiang Mai as well, was how quiet it was at night. I was off a main road. I wasn't on a main road for a change. Where I live now, I live on a fairly main secondary type of road, and I'm near the hospital. And constantly during the night, not so much at night, but late, but you hear the ambulances go past. You hear the traffic all the time, and I like having my windows and balcony door open and fresh air, you know. But I hear that noise now. In Sydney, I lived in the heart of Sydney, and I had the similar thing. I was on a top floor, but overlooking reasonably busy roads too, and I had traffic, so I'm fairly used to it. But when you suddenly spend a night where there's no sound, it's like, wow, it's so quiet. What's going on? Right, let's see what we got. Peter D, there is a netted area in Pattaya, but I wouldn't swim in it. Yeah, okay, fair enough. And Tony's saying I mainly use our pool at my condo. Yeah, it's always been taken care of by the staff. Yeah, ours too. We've got a great, beautiful pool. One of the prime reasons why I chose the condo was it had to have a nice pool, and it even has a security guard who sits at the desk at the door at the entry to the outside area where the pool is, and he just sits there all day every day. So it's quite a good condo. We've got 3 security guards at that condo all day and 2 all night. So I mean, the pool opens at 8 and closes at 8 p.m. But there's usually always a guard there. So I guess he's sort of like a lifeguard as well. I don't know, but he's got a good job. He looks after a bit of maintenance of the pool as well, and I think he's also tops it up with the chemicals and stuff. There's generally lifeguards on Jomtien Beach. Okay, near the police station and towards the jet ski hire. Okay, that's good to know. I didn't know that. Yeah. So the pool is fantastic. Definitely high on my list of choices when I come over here. During the night we have a security guy inside the building who's there right near the lift lobby, and then of course we've got security on the front gate operating the boom gates. So, and they're mostly there for things like deliveries, people buying from Lazada, Amazon, things like that, deliveries coming in, that sort of thing. When you say security guards, they're not there for security. Theft and crime in Thailand overall is very, very low. I don't know what the actual rates are, but it's very, very low. So to be a security guard in a condo, you don't really need to worry about, unless there's some drunk expats coming back from a party or a pub or somewhere, but that's, you don't usually muck up around where you live, do you? So, Santo, how are you, buddy? Good guys go to heaven, bad guys go to Thailand, is that correct? I don't know. I think I'm a good guy. Hey? Yeah, that's true. Yeah. This is like the afterlife here, Like, when you think about it, right? And most people, I don't know about most people, all right, but in my situation, I worked my ass off during my life, all right? I worked hard, all right? I tried to achieve things, but I kept getting knocked back down that ladder because I wasn't the sort of person that wants to suck up to the boss and bullshit to people to gain for myself. I was an honest person, and so I did my job. I was a butcher for 15 years, worked hard, long hours. Got out of that, then I went and did security work. I worked in security. I did all forms of security. I really loved that. But again, it was providing a service for people was what I'm about. But then when you come to retiring, which I've done early, of course, I mean, retirement age in Australia is what, 67, all right? So I've retired at 57, okay? 56, 55, 55, 56, yeah. So I've retired early because for many reasons, but now it's like, I love going into a coffee shop like this or any place and you get served with a smile and treated nicely, and people care, I don't know, just something about Thailand that makes it so much better than just makes you want to be here. Astro, how are you, buddy? Welcome. I've heard Chiang Mai is getting more expensive. Yes. Is that your experience? And do you have any comments on the current cost of living? Okay, sure. Where are you from, Astro? Is it getting more expensive? It is for, I can't speak for Chiang Mai, I can only speak for Thailand. I've been coming and going from Thailand for at least 15 years, almost every year, okay? But Chiang Mai, I haven't been here for about 10 years, okay? But the rest of Thailand, it's gotten more expensive like everywhere else in the world, okay? since the pandemic, okay, everything went up everywhere in the Western world, and it's happened here as well, but not as much, okay? A lot of businesses suffered. A lot of businesses didn't have the backup or the savings or definitely any government support to come back or survive and stay open when there were no tourists here. Okay, so a lot of businesses failed. But everything's coming back now. Everything's coming back now, and I think it's more a little bit more expensive for the people living here, for local people. Price of petrol's not cheap, but it's not really a big issue either because most people ride scooters. Okay? Now, if you've only ridden a scooter all your life and the petrol goes up 10, 20, 50 cents a litre, sure, you're going to notice. But that's not a big part of your budget when it costs you $6 to fill your tank. You know, if it now costs you from $5 to $6 to fill your tank on your scooter, that's not backbreaking, sending you into poverty. So for local people, yeah. For tourists, no, it's not, because things have gone up so much more in the West, so painfully much more in the West, that if you come here, it is still so much cheaper than the West. Okay, you can come and have a great holiday, and there are so many ways here to save your money if you want to make your holiday go longer and last longer, if you want to budget. In Australia, I'm not kidding, man, like just a cheap motel on the side of the road, if you're on a road trip in Australia, it's going to cost you $120 a night. You know, go back about 4 years, that hotel would have been about $80 a night, $70 a night. Okay, I think a lot of businesses, because they suffered and lost a lot of money, especially bigger companies, they put all their prices up to make up for what they lost during the pandemic years. You know, it's just crazy. Cost of living, I did a video, so if you subscribe, you don't have to, but that'd be nice. If you subscribe, which costs nothing, just hit that subscribe button. You can go back to the playlist and you'll see I did a cost of living of my typical monthly expenses of living here. Now, I've only been living here for 10 months now. I came here in February, and I waited a good 6 months before I did that video, so things settled down, because there's a lot of upfront expenses that you get hit with that don't come into your budget per month. Once you're settled in and your bills are coming in, everything's regular, and then you've got a bit of a habit and a bit of system going, where you're eating, what your groceries are, that comes in. So check out that video, all right? I know most live stream people ask me that question. I'm paying 8,000 Thai baht a month. You need to do the calculations on your currency exchange. If it's about 22 to the Australian dollars or 35 to the US dollars, that's Thai baht to the dollar, work at 8,000. It's very, very cheap. Thanks, Astro. Cool, mate. But yeah, just check out that video, and I go through everything: my electricity bill, my water bills, my internet bills, my phone mobile bill, my general shopping, what it costs to go out and eat every night, my bills there, scooter hire that I've hired, all that sort of stuff. They're your monthly bills. That's it. There's no big 6 monthly bill or yearly bill that comes in. I'm on a retirement visa, it's wrongly named, okay? It actually says retirement visa at the top corner of it in your passport, but it's actually called an extension of stay, okay? And you renew that every year. And the purpose of that, in my case, is for retirement, and that's why it has, in my case, retirement visa written on it. So it's an extension of stay. That cost me a lot of money in the beginning for the first application for it, okay, because I went through a visa agent. A lot of people don't like going through visa agents. You know, they say, oh, you can do it yourself and all this and save a lot of money and all that. You can if you know what you're doing. But because I was moving here my schedule to come here was brought forward by almost 9 months, and everything was a bit rushed. The last thing I wanted to deal with was all the paperwork and all the other stuff involved in getting the application in for my extension of stay visa. Okay, so I was quite willing and budgeted for paying an agent to take care of all that for me while I focused on finding a place to rent for 12 months, finding a location in Chiang Mai to live that I'm going to like, and getting familiar with the city and the areas that I hadn't been to in 10 years. All that had to be done within the first couple of weeks of moving in here, because staying in a motel or a hotel is very expensive compared to monthly rentals on a 12-month contract. I'm paying $8,000 a month, all right? Most hotels in Chiang Mai are $1,000 a night. Okay, now you can get 500 a night, 500, 600, 700 a night. I'm paying $8,000 a month. So the sooner I found the condo of my dreams, which was my main focus in the beginning, the sooner I could jump in there and save money, because I only rented a hotel when I first flew into Chiang Mai for 10 nights. And I think that was almost the cost of a month's rental when I finally found a rental place. So that was all part of the budget, and it all went well. But doing the visa agent just saved me a lot of frustration on that side of things. Next year, when I go and renew that visa, it's not a visa, sorry, the extension of stay gets renewed, and I have to put that in information. It's not as much needs to be in the application, and it's a lot easier to do, and I'm not going to use an agent to do that. I'll just do that myself. It's only going to cost me 1,900 baht. Every visa or extension of stay extension, they all cost a flat rate, whether it's retirement, education, whatever. It's all 1,900 baht is the cost of the extension at immigration. Okay, so that's all it will cost me, and I'll do it myself, because I don't have all that stress of when I first moved here. I can plan what I'm doing and get everything organised for it. So there you go. Cost of living, yeah. So I haven't noticed the cost of living get any dearer here. Your typical, what is it, ham and cheese toastie in 7-Eleven, it's probably gone up by 5 baht. Okay, it's probably gone up by 5 baht. How much is 5 baht? If you're in America, it's 30 baht to the dollar. So what? It's gone up by 10 cents or less. It's like, it's no big deal. It's not noticeable. Petrol is probably the main thing, I think, that's gone up here. Otherwise, no, everything else is okay. And it's very cheap here, everything, cost of living. But yeah, do that. Check out that video. It'll give you a good, a good idea of taking into account, of course, right? I'm a single guy living on my own. I don't drink alcohol and I don't smoke. So straight up there, I probably have a much better budget than someone who does drink, does smoke, and he's not single. Okay, so I could do this and live at the same standard as the other person, because I save money, not indulging in any of that. Okay, so yeah, I mean, you go out and start drinking at pubs and stuff like, and bars, that's gonna eat into your funds really quickly. To give you an idea, okay, my electricity bill for the month is, in this low season, about 750 baht a month. That includes the water with that bill. Okay, now 750 baht. I'm not sure of the cost, but that's probably the same cost of 10 beers, 10 bottles of Chang beer. Assuming you're paying 770 baht a beer. So if you're a fair drinker, one big night out, that could cost you your electricity bill for a month. and that's just one night out, and that's without any happy ending, pretty lady, short time, long time event happening. Whoa, boof! There you go. I mean, straight up there, there's 6 months of your electricity bill gone. There's half your monthly rent gone in one night. Eh? So I'm going to behave and stick to my cappuccinos. All right. Oh, that's getting cold. Let's have a look. How are we going? Astro, US Midwest mostly. Recently, Tucson, Arizona. Nice. Did my first Thai trip in August to Bangkok only. Oh, good, mate. Bangkok, crazy place, isn't it? Fantastic. It's great. I love Bangkok. Some amazing shopping and places you can go through. And I got a hobby over here. So my hobby here is I build models. Like your Airfix and I build model tanks and planes and ships and all that sort of thing. And I went to the Tamiya store in Bangkok, and I stocked up on a few boxes of model kits to keep me going for a while here. And that's what I do as a hobby. So rather than go out to the pub and get drunk and waste money on women, well, I say waste money on women, but I'm happy to sit home and build my model ships and have a hobby. You need to have a hobby. You need to have a hobby. Peter D saying inflation in Australia is out of control. Yep. So much cheaper in Thailand. Yes. Hello, Raymond Sandoval. Is that it? Yep. My friend, are you in Pattaya? Thumbs up. Number 5, how you doing? Yes, mate. No, I'm not in Pattaya. I'm in Chiang Mai. So Chiang Mai is way north of Pattaya, and it's sort of because I don't drink, I don't frequent the bars. I'm not too concerned about the beach. Chiang Mai is a cultural centre of Thailand. We're up in the north. I enjoy mountain motorcycle riding. Back in Australia, I had a Suzuki V-Strom 1000 adventure bike I travelled around Australia on. I miss that greatly. Big step down to the old scooter here, but I've got plans, so I'll be buying a nice adventure bike in the next year or so. So I'm going to, up in north here, it's the cultural area. The only thing is we don't have a beach. We've got great pools in the condos and stuff, and there's local pools and water parks around and stuff like that. But that's my thing. We have bars here. We've got the equivalent of our walking street, and I mean to do a video of walking along there too, but I don't want to upset people doing a video. A lot of foreigners don't like being seen, don't like it when guys walk along with a camera filming in front of bars and stuff like that for obvious reasons. Even the girls don't like it in most cases, but I'm thinking of going there on a weeknight when it's quiet and just walking down there and doing a quick video. We'll see how it goes, but just give you an idea what it's like. Craig Redmond, hello from Brisbane. Another one from Brisbane. Excellent. 750 baht is 34 Aussie dollars. Okay, yes, 750 baht. So that's my electricity bill each month. That's what it's been. In the high season, in summer, that could almost double. It could almost double depending on the air conditioning. Yeah. In that month, and the water's only about 100 baht a month every month. Okay, the rest is your electricity. Now, the main electricity using I have is, well, I have a fan, a ceiling fan, which I don't even turn on anymore. I have an air conditioning unit I haven't turned on for the last 2 months. Okay, it's just not got that hot enough. And my main electricity use is probably my air fryer when I do my cooking, and my computer. I have a big computer set up with 3 monitors, a laptop, and all that, and all my video editing stuff in my little studio area, that probably is the biggest electricity user. But $34 is nothing. Yeah, I'll give you a quick savings tip. You know, when you live here, you don't go to 7-Eleven, buy bottles of water out of the fridge. They cost you between 10 and 25 baht for just 500 mils. Okay, most condos they have a system, particularly in our condo, where you can get the 20-litre water bottles delivered, and you just get one of them, bring it up to your room. I got mine sitting under the kitchen sink, and then on Lazada, which is their version of eBay or Amazon, you buy this little USB, noisy truck going by, you get this little USB little motor pump, and it sits on top of the bottle with a siphon tube, and you hit the button, there's a little tap on it, and you fill your own water bottles. Okay? I buy one of them, lasts me 3 weeks. 20 litres of free water. I just top up the bottles, put them in the fridge. That 20-litre bottle, what does that cost me? 30 baht. 30 baht. Like a 1-litre bottle in the fridge in 7-Eleven will cost 30 baht. I'm getting 20 litres. So there's a tip for you. Hey Jim, how are you, buddy? How's Chicago? How are you up there in Chicago, mate? I'm doing fantastic, mate. Excellent. Another beautiful day here. About 20 minutes south of where I live, Chiang Mai, on the Ping River. I actually was going to stop further up the road here, where there's this like a reservoir, not a reservoir, like a bit of a dam going across, where the river's flowing through it, and it goes down across these rock areas and stuff. And there's a footbridge across the top. It was quite a nice area there. And there's this really nice, cute girl, sorry, that sells bin buns. Bin buns. I'm sure I'm pronouncing that right. She has bin buns. Yeah. Which is actually, she does toast. Nice big thick pieces of toast. She cooks them up, and then you got a choice of strawberry, honey, all different flavors, spreads that she'll put over on them, and they're like 10 baht, like less than 50 cents for one. And I just seen her the other day when I was scouting out the area down here, and I saw her. I actually put some photos on my Facebook, but because I'm streaming at this time in the morning and it's Sunday, excuse me, she wasn't there. It was too early. She'll probably be there when I ride back. I might stop there and grab myself a bin bun. A bin bun. I think I'm pronouncing that right. So there you go. Astro says 3 weeks. Did an organised tour and it was top grade. Oh yeah. I wasn't tempted by the girls and minimised the vices. Lol. Good on you. That's good. Oh yes. As long as you have a good time. Now, you did a good job not being tempted by the girls. The eye candy is quite a strong pull, isn't it? It's hard not to watch. I always said this, and I said this to a few friends of mine. Hello, Ropin from Sunshine Coast. How are you, buddy? Up north of Brisbane. Beautiful. You watched the first video of my trip to Pai, Jim. Good on you. Thanks, mate. That's great. And it's chilly and cold weather right now. Oh yeah, and we had snow on Thursday. Oh god, there's something I'll probably never see in my life again. Snow. Yeah. Not intentionally anyway. I must admit though, I am gonna, this isn't the end of the line for me. I've been travelling for many years all over the world. I've been doing Africa and all sorts of places, and just moving and retiring to Thailand doesn't mean I'm just going to stop now. I've travelled fairly extensively throughout Southeast Asia, and I've done Laos, Vietnam, Cambodia. I've been all through these countries. I've been all through Indonesia. I've done from Jakarta in Java to Malaysia. I've done all through Java, Bali, Lombok, Sumbawa, Flores, the Gili Islands, diving. I've done all that, Sulawesi, all these places. But I'm still going to travel more. In about a year and a half from now, in a year and a half from now, I've got some nice big chunk of money coming from my Australian superannuation fund. That's going to be a nice welcome to the bank account by then. And there's some places in the world I'd like to go back to. Not just in Asia either. Africa, Morocco. Morocco was one of my top places. It was fantastic. You can actually... it was the only place in my life where I stood on one viewpoint and I could see the ocean, okay? I could see the Sahara Desert, and I could see snow on the mountaintops. All three different environmental extremes from one location. Amazing. But anyway, we're not here to talk about that. We're here to talk about Thailand. Who's coming to Thailand? Who wants to live in Thailand? Eh? Anyone got plans? Have I been to North America? Yes. Yes. What's North America? Is that... Do you class Canada as North America, Jim? or does it stop at the border? I've been to Chicago, mate, where you are. I've been to Chicago. Been through Illinois. I've been to Canada. Canada, yes. Oh, yes, not Mexico. I've never been to Mexico. Yeah, never been to Mexico. But I've travelled through the US, and I've been to Canada. Montreal, Quebec, Ottawa, Toronto, mainly that area. So I never got over to the other side and up to Alaska or anything. Been to San Francisco, California, New York, yeah. So yeah. Yes, New York. Yeah. One day I'll do a video just on major events in the world that I've had close calls with, you might say. Anyway, yeah. So if you're like me and you're thinking of retiring, or even bringing your family, if all your kids are left and you're old enough now, and you don't want to suffer in Australia or the US, and or you've got a new president or prime minister that's going to run your country downhill fast, or whatever's going wrong, or the businesses and companies are taking over the world. Yeah, you want to get out, come to Thailand. I watched a great video on Netflix last night about shopping, all about consumerism and shopping, and how it's taken over and how disposable everything is these days, and people not realizing that when something's manufactured and gets sold and used and then thrown away is still here on the planet. There is no magical away that makes things vanish. The parts from that rubbish are still here, polluting the planet, and it's quite an amazing show to watch. It makes you realise. The guy put a tracking chip inside a computer monitor in the US to find out where it would end up, and then he gave it to a place that would dispose of it, environmentally dispose of it for him, okay, because if these big companies now are environmentally conscious, and they will take things and dispose of them properly, so they say. So this tracking thing followed it across the US to a port, and then it left America, and then went where'd it go? I went on a cargo ship and it actually ended up here in Thailand. And then it followed it, and it went into a distribution centre here, where there were Thai people sitting there with masks on and goggles on and gloves, hacking and breaking all these computer monitors in the hundreds of thousands and separating all the parts from them to recycle and resell or reuse or whatever. But all the chemicals and gases and stuff coming out of this was causing cancer and all sorts of stuff. And, it was all about consumerism. And something about there was one place where they were producing billions and billions of items of clothing. The world produces something like 1 billion clothing pieces every minute, and yet there's only 4 or 5 billion people on the planet, and yet that much is being produced every minute of every day. Where does it all go? Yeah, God, yeah, it just really opens your eyes. Anyway, but I like Thailand here is quite good. It's a clean place. The streets are clean. You know, um, you look around. There's no plastic bags anywhere. There's no rubbish anywhere. It's quite Chiang Mai anyway. It's reasonably clean. Can't say the same for Cambodia. Went over to Cambodia last year for a couple of weeks holiday. The first thing I noticed as soon as I left the airport and I was in a tuk-tuk heading for my motel was the amount of rubbish on the roadside everywhere. It's just unbelievable. And throughout the whole 2 weeks of from going from Phnom Penh down south to all the areas around the beach, the beaches you wouldn't even bother going in. Um, it was just really, really terrible. Um, yeah, there's just no recycling going on whatsoever. It's like, yeah, it's pretty bad. There was a country in Africa that apparently a lot of clothing distributor places throw out all their so-called recycled clothing that are going to so-called donated to charities, end up in this country in Africa. Um, it's just amazing. Anyway, Thailand would be a place I would need to visit first before settling there. Yes, and you really should. I would highly recommend you visit before you decide. I've known a couple of people that are planning to come here to retire that have never been here before. Um, that's a big mistake. You don't want to do that. You make a big commitment to come here and retire. In most cases, you're selling up everything you've got. Um, it's too expensive to bring everything with you. Literally, I came with one bag with everything I owned. Every material possession I had was in one bag. Everything else I got rid of. And I mean, I threw out stuff in the end. I had about 3 weeks to get all stuff. I had to try and sell my furniture and give away a lot of stuff to friends, and some things I just didn't have time to give away or sell, and I just had to throw it all out in the bin, which is not good recycling, is it? Because it's too expensive to freight anything, and everything's replaceable here. Plus, the advantage is when you come here to Thailand and you want to rent a condo long term, they come fully furnished. I mean, fully furnished. All you need is your clothes and go shopping at the supermarket for your food, and you're done. All your cutlery, your bedding, your towels, your TV, your microwave, your fridge, it's all there. It's all part of the rental. So you don't have to worry about any of that. You've got everything you need. So, yeah, it's really, and of course the climate, you've got to be aware of the climate and what that can be like. And if that's suitable from you, depending on where you come from and what you're used to. The climate is a big thing. Being from Australia, from Sydney and Queensland as well, I love the beaches and I love the heat. I'm a skinny guy, so there's not much fat on me, so I don't feel the heat like a bigger person would. And so I can endure it, and the humidity's not too bad for me either. Just keep my hair cut short, and I'm all good. But there were some days, I will admit, back in April, March, April, that it was extremely hot. It touched on 44 degrees Celsius here, and that was hot. That was, you're just breathing in the heat, and they're the days where you head off to the local big shopping centre, shopping malls, and go see a movie for a couple of hours and enjoy the aircon. Or sit at home and turn the aircon on 24/7, but again, that's going to bump up your electricity bill. So even when it was at those temperatures, all right, I don't think I ever had the air conditioning on continuously overnight. I would turn it on for a couple of hours in the afternoon to cool the place down, but for night or a few hours before bed, just turn it on an hour, just to help me go to sleep. After that, I'd be fine, you know. But yeah, one of my neighbours' electricity bills is 4 times my bill during that hot season. So if I was getting a bill of 1,400 during the peak time, he had his electricity running all the time, and his bill was around 4,500 baht, which is half his monthly rent, pretty much, for the month. These are all things you got to take into account, which is why you go back and watch my video all about my budget here, and you'll see. So, we're going almost an hour now. That's great. Still got just under 20 people. If you haven't said anything in chat, just say hello. Let me know where you're from. If you've got any questions, let me know as well. It's. I couldn't think personally of another country anywhere in the world I would rather retire to. I think Vietnam might come close second, although I've only ever been to Vietnam once, and I loved it there, but nowhere near enough to know whether I would actually live there or not long term. And like I say, I've visited Thailand many times over the years. Been to Indonesia a few times and a few other places often, but one good 2-week visit here, if you're thinking about retiring here, even if you're going to be here, not retiring here for another 5 years or more, still come over. You know, the people are still going to be the same, the food's going to be the same, hopefully the climate will still be the same in 5 years. We don't want that getting much worse. And the prices will probably still be the same in comparison to where you are now, probably even better. I really do think that these, not just Thailand, but Asian countries in general, are going to be back even more popular than pre-pandemic days, you know, and for people to come and retire. Even the government here is making retiring over here easy and staying here easier. They're changing the visas. Okay, I've done a video a few months back now about how to obtain your retirement extension of stay visa and all the things you go through. That's still relevant today. Okay, and every month I'll add updated for the month. If any changes were to come, I would either, depending on how extensive the changes were, I'd make a whole fresh new video. Otherwise, I would put something down there in the description. But not much changes to the visas that are current, the visas and retirement options you have here. They may add new things like the Destination Thailand visa, which is the 5-year visa. That's a new one added. They add new ones here. They're different. That is not for the purpose of retiring, really. That's more like an education thing where you want to come over here and learn something, whether it be Muay Thai, boxing, or teaching, or something like that. They're good visas if you want to do that sort of thing. They give you the opportunity to stay here for 5 years. So you apply for it once. Once you get it, it's yours for 5 years. Okay? You will still have to exit the country once a year, which is not a problem. You just whip across the border into Cambodia or Laos. Up here in Chiang Mai is a popular spot where they come up here, hop on a boat, get stamped out, go across the river, get stamped into Laos, and then spend a night there or make a trip of it and have a look around for a few days and come back, and you only got to do that once a year. But your actual destination Thailand visa, that will just have to be reapplied for only every 5 years. There are some tricks to that though. You've got to be a little bit aware of that. I haven't looked into it fully, so I haven't got much experience or any experience to be able to give advice. But I have heard, I can say that I've heard, that if you, and I contacted a Muay Thai boxing place to find out this, you need to be constantly enrolled in a course during the time of you holding that visa. So you need to sign up for a whole year of training, pretty much. All right. Yeah. And then next year, when you you don't need to extend it. You just will have to come back into the country and get your stamp for the next 12 months. I think that's how it works. I'm not sure. But I don't know if immigration are going to come up to you on your DTV visa in 3 years' time and saying, right, what course are you still doing? Because part of the application is to be enrolled in some course, and that can get expensive for 5 years. You know, especially if you want to get into the boxing, they weren't cheap. So there's some options there. Somebody's burning something. There's some smoke coming across here. But anyway, so here, this is a really nice cafe. I couldn't even name the suburb I'm in. South of Handong or Nong Hai, whatever. I'm about less than half an hour south of Chiang Mai city, and nice little Go Gu Ma cafe. I think I probably stuffed up the pronunciation of that as well. So, anyway, we didn't meet my friend because he hasn't been back. I talked about him at the beginning of the video, live stream. So there's this pussycat when I got here, really super friendly, coming up purring up against me, and then hopped up on the seat next to me, and then he come up here. I was having one of these. I bought a little snack from 7-Eleven. These are like little buns with a sausage in them. They're really nice. So I gave the cat a bit of the sausage, and suddenly I was his best friend. And he's jumping up, sitting on my lap. I've got to be a little bit careful because I used to be allergic to cats. So I don't think I still am, but I'm not going to put my hands near my face or anything like that in case I start getting all congested and blocked up. But yeah, it was a nice cat. Obviously the owner's cat, it had a collar and hanging around, but he's disappeared. He was sitting on my bike seat for a while when I started the live stream. But he's obviously, the sun's come over now and that's all in the sun. But yeah, so my plan now is to, there's a little spot I scouted out the other day. It's a field, just an empty field on this back road, off this road. Well, I'll go back up north a little bit, about 5 minutes up the road, and there's a bridge near a temple. I cross over the bridge, then come back down this way and then out that way. I mean, this is what I do. I jump on my bike and I just go for mystery rides. Just plan a direction, go, I want to go that cafe, and then I go there, but through every longest possible way, and I take all these back roads. And I spotted this place, and it's just a beautiful lawn area with these trees that I don't know if they're durian trees or what sort of trees they are. It's obviously a crop of some sort, because when you go to Google Maps and look at it, it's definitely planted like that way, but there was nobody around. I thought, nice quiet spot to get out the camera, which I've got all ready to go here, my DJI camera, and I'll got it's all charged up. I'm doing this on my phone. I always do the live streams on my phone, and there it is, the action. And yeah, I won't have the noise of motorbikes interrupting, and hopefully I can do it all in one hit without having to spend too much time editing. That's the plan. But, so yeah, so that's going in there. All right. And of course I'm using the microphone rather than, I thought I'd put it inside out on my shirt there so it's not so visible, and you got this, otherwise you got this big furry thing sitting there. But I'm sure the audio is fine, you can hear me okay while it's inside my shirt there. And I've got the receiver connected to my phone. This is why I love the DJI setup. It has three major benefits for me that GoPro and other ones don't have. One is you can do it with the DJI cam itself and do your videoing, but then you've got your receiver which connects directly into my mobile phone, and I can use the microphone to that to stream, so you get the better audio quality than just using your microphone off your phone. And also I can also connect that receiver to my computer, either my desktop or my laptop, and use the microphone for when I'm doing voiceovers or anything on the computer for it. So I get three uses out of the thing, so really handy. The receiver itself, you don't actually need to use it when you're using the camera. You can buy this microphone just on its own without the receiver, and it will connect Bluetooth direct to the camera, that is the DJI camera, without needing the receiver at all. So there you go. But, look into it. I bought the DJI Action 4 at almost the exact day the Action 5 was released. But I don't need the Action 5. That had too many extra features, and it was way more expensive than the 4. And 4 has more than enough for what I'm using it for, you know. So it's not often I need to go diving or anything like that and need all the extra things that the other camera has. Anyway, well guys, I'm going to wind it up here. The sun's getting up over there into my eyes, so I'm going to go and check out this other place and go make a video. It'll be coming up next week, all about motorcycle safety and how to stay alive while you're riding over here. Very serious subject. Yeah, I've seen some pretty awful accidents and incidences just in my time being here, and yeah, anything you can take on board if you're coming over here and you plan on riding a motorbike or a scooter. Got to be aware of a few things, and that's what I'm going to go through, you know, just where to focus, where to attention, how to ride, where to ride on the road, what to watch out for. It'll all be in that video. Okay. All right. Well, thanks everybody. Thanks for watching. Thanks for those who subscribed. And like I say, I do this video every weekend between 8 a.m., which is what time I kicked off today, to 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. Depending on where I'm planning to go and do the live stream. So yeah, you'll get notifications if you're subscribed for free. Just make sure you click notifications and you get notified of when not only when the live streams are coming up, but when my normal videos are coming up too. And you're welcome to go back and watch the other ones. And as usual, your comments and are welcome, and your thumbs up always help the algorithm. And I'm aiming for that 3,000 subscriber mark. We just passed 2,500 the other week, and that was great. So very much appreciated. All right, guys, enjoy the rest of your weekend wherever you are, and I'll see you in the next video. All right, cheers all, bye for now. Where is it? There it is.